ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit, Subscribe,
that is gorgeous, dude. Wow.
Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Diamond Select Toys action figure review set on the Series 1, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Sally, Jack Skellington, and Mr. Oogie Boogie. If you're trying to pick up these, you can pick them up now at
Big! Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
And thanks so much to Diamond Select Toys for helping out with this review. If you want to see the latest from them, check the link below. And looking at the packaging, it's pretty standard Diamond Select Toys packaging. On the side, you can see we get some artwork right there of Sally, then we have Jack right over there, and then we have Oogie Boogie. Then on the back right there, you can see the figure. Wow, that looks really cool. And then there's a read-up on all of these, so if you want to read it for Sally, go ahead and pause it now. If you want to see the read-up for Jack, go ahead and pause it now. And then there's a read-up for Mr. Oogie Boogie. If you want to read it, pause it now. Alright, let's get to it and crack these things open. And here's all three figures out of the packaging, and I really like this set. These are very good figures. I think that they're very durable as far as the quality of plastic goes, which I really like a lot, especially with Jack being so skinny with his limbs right there. Same thing with Sally too. Now, Mr. Oogie Boogie is very hefty, very heavy, solid piece. And we get some really nice bases with Jack and Sally over there as well. So let's take a closer look at Sally first, then we'll look at Jack, and then end with Mr. Oogie Boogie. So here's looking at Sally's base, and I really like the paint on this. The plastic is a charcoal black, and you do get some light grays over the black, which I think is great. There is some assembly required for this. You have to attach this gate piece right over here. You can see it came undone just a little bit, and you just put that back, and then you get this cat that plugs into the top. And then the back of it is just hollowed out right over here. I think they did a good job with the cat attached to the top of that brick. I think that looks really good. The yellow paint for the eyes looks pretty nice. You get the white teeth over there. As I mentioned earlier, I really like the gray paint over the charcoal black brick. I just think it looks really good. Then Jack and Sally each come with their own display stand, which is very helpful for posing, and I really like it a lot. You get rotation at the bottom. It hinges down here. It hinges right here. You get rotation over there, and then you also get a hinge over here and rotation, and then same deal with this piece. You could rotate, then hinge this up and down. So a lot of points of articulation on this stand, and you can remove the parts too. So you could display it any way you want to. You can change this up as you wish, as well as adjust the tension on each of these with a screwdriver. Now I think the sculpted detail on these figures, especially Sally over here, is just phenomenal. I think the paint apps came out really good too. I love how this looks. Very nice clean work on this. Really good job. Nice stitching over there. The red lips look really good on her. I really like that. Then all these patterns and everything going throughout the figure just looks great. I like the variation of blues that we get, especially for the stitches right over her blue skin. I think that looks really good. Nice color choice for the hinges over there. And this is all sculpted in here. This isn't just decoed on. I like that a lot. We get variants of texture right here too. See, like you can see how it's a little bit more rough on the gray and pink section right over there. And this is all sculpted in here as well. So a lot of details put into this. I really dig it a lot. It looks really good. And then there's her little feet. Then coming around the back, you can see that she does have the stand plugged into her. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. You can see this a little bit better. But yeah. Then that just plugs into the hole in her back right over there. So I think that looks really good. My one complaint is this dot right here on the back. I don't know if that's supposed to be there. I don't think it is. But other than that, I think the hair looks really good as well. You know, not a bad figure at all. So the articulation on these figures in general is not fantastic, but I think good enough for these pieces. I think it works for these figures and these characters. Anyway, you get side-to-side movement over here at the head. She cannot look up, but she can look down. I like that. And you do get some head pivot there as well. The shoulders move outward just about that much. You can get them to move forward. She has an elbow swivel right over here, and she just bends that much. Now all of these joints have a ball peg kind of system going on right there. It reminds me of Revoltech, and you can dislocate that if you want to, or detach it anyway, and then reattach it if you really want that 90-degree bend, but you're going to get a little bit of a weird space right there. It's just an option. You get rotation right over here at the wrist, and it kind of moves up and down just a little bit. You do get waist rotation over here, and then her legs bend at the knee, and you could rotate at the knee. You can move them forward, but you can't really move the hips at all. This is very hard plastic right here for her skirt, and I wish it was made out of much softer material, so that's a little unfortunate. She does have rotation right over here at the ankle as well. Really cool thing about this is that she has an interchangeable waist part, so you can just chop her in half like that, and then attach her to this piece so you can get Sally sitting down, which I think is great. Only thing is that she kind of falls over if you don't have her leaning on her hand. She still has rotation here at the ankles, and I thought that would help as far as getting her to sit properly, but no, you need something on this side, not this side over here. So that's a bit of a bummer, but you know, it's not too bad as long as you have her leaning against her own hand. And then here's looking at Jack's base, which I really like a lot. And again, there is some assembly required. These two pieces over here have to be attached, and then this piece right over here attaches to these little slots right over there at the very top. I did feel like I was going to break it because I had to kind of pull this apart a little bit to get each of these sides to reach into those parts right there, but it works out pretty well. I like it. Then on the back, you can see that it's hollow right there and hollow right over there. And then Jack does come with the same exact stand that Sally has. Mine's all taken apart for Jack because you have these ports that you can plug them into for holding Jack up, and I think that is awesome. I mean, the amount of details and sculpt that go into these, it's just very impressive to me. I'm really liking it. We get some paint over the bricks on here too. You can see there's a little bit of purple paint right over there. Seems a little bit random, but I think it looks pretty good. You can see some silver right over there on the edges. I think that looks really nice. And then you can see port number 1 right over there. Then there's port number 2 right over here on the steps. And very nice silver paint right over there on the bricks. Nice sculpted detail throughout on this base. Wow, all these little lines and squigglies all over the place look really good. So here's looking at Jack's head sculpt. I really like this a lot, even though I still feel a bit greedy and wish we had interchangeable head sculpts for this figure. But regardless, I still think it looks really nice. I like the black paint over the cream colored white that we have for the head. And we get some pretty decent stripes right over here, but it doesn't run consistent all the way through. As you can see right here, his bat bow tie looks really nice, and then this torso section looks pretty good, but it gets a little bit sloppier as the lines get thinner. As you can see, you get white kind of washing over some of the black parts of the limbs, which is a minor complaint of mine, you know, but seeing how small it is, I don't know, it doesn't really take away from the figure for me, to be honest with you. Looking at the hands right there, that looks really good. Is he missing a finger? He's supposed to have 3 fingers, right? Is he supposed to have only 3 fingers? I think he's only supposed to have 3 fingers. I can't remember off the top of my head. You let me know in the comments below if you remember. But looking right over here, you can see, you know, the pinstripes do, you know, they continue throughout, so it's not like they straight up, you know, disappear or anything, but it just gets a little washed out here and there. Then you get these nice Revoltech type joints once again right there for the knees and the hips. And there's his little boots right there. Then you can see how the stand plugs into his back, you know, and that's very convenient. I like that a lot. Now, I didn't think it could be done, but the figure can actually stand on its own. It's difficult balancing it. You have to be pretty good at balancing, not trying to, you know, brag or anything, but it was difficult to get that to stand like that, but it is possible, which is incredible. Anyway, you can take his head and move it upward. I like that. You can move his head down. You get side-to-side movement, and you do get neck pivot right there. You can move the shoulders outward very far, and you can detach them right there with that ball peg system that we have. Plug that right back in there, and you can move the arms down. You can move them forward again, you know, popping out on me right here on the shoulders. So that could be bothersome for a lot of people. For me, I actually like that it can do that because I just seen so many Jack Skellington figures break. So anyway, you can bend the elbow inward that much without detaching anything, and you can rotate at the elbow as well. Can also rotate right here at the bicep, or where the shoulder meets right over there too. And then you can rotate the wrist right here as well. There's a lot of paint on that wrist, so I found it easier to just unplug it completely and then kind of wipe some of that white paint off, and now you can get that to turn a little bit easier. You also do get a diaphragm joint, I guess, and that rotates side to side, and you can get that to crunch forward and back some too. And it does give a little bit of pivot over there as well, so that's pretty awesome. You get the legs that can do the splits all the way, which is great, and you can get his legs moving forward as well. You can rotate up at the thigh over there. You do get the same kind of articulation right over here at the knee. It bends in quite a bit. You can rotate at the knee as well. Then the ankles do move side to side. So you get a lot of articulation on this Jack Skellington. The only thing is that you do get these pieces that do pop off on you, and I think it just broke. Then here's looking at the head sculpt of Mr. Oogie Boogie, and I think this figure just through and through has an amazing amount of paint on it, and I really like the sculpted detail throughout. I mean, this burlap sack all on its own just looks really, really good. I really like the variations of brown that we're getting over here. The eyes look really nice. I love the stitching. The color choice for the stitching is really good. Same thing with the seams. You get some nice dark fading right over there around the edges of the seams, which is really nice. Really digging that a lot. Here's looking at the back of his head. And then you can remove this face right here to reveal all the bugs. Hey, oh, come on, come off. And there you go. Wow. Yeah, a lot of different colors in there. You could even see some little eyes, it looks like. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, you get all kinds of worms and different things. I mean, it's kind of hard to make anything out specific, but you get the idea. They get all kinds of different creepy crawlers and nasty things right inside there. I think that's really cool. But I'll probably still have this displayed with it on. Actually, this belongs to the wife. I ordered these figures so I can give them to my wife. So she'll display it however she likes, but chances are she'll leave that on. And so far, I think this is her favorite one out of the three. But yeah, looking at the arm again, nice stitching right over there. Nice looking right over here at the bottom. And there's looking at his big gut. And this thing is heavy, by the way. I mean, it's just a massive figure. I mean, there's just a lot of weight to him. So very, very cool. I like it a lot. Nice shadowing effect throughout on this. Looking right underneath here. Yeah, man. Very good looking figure. I like it. Now, as far as the articulation goes, we don't get a whole ton. You can rotate the head side to side, and you do get some pivot over here at the head as well. And he can't really look up too much. He can look down only a tiny bit too. You do get rotation over here at the shoulders, and they do have a hinge, so you can move them in and out, and you can move them forward as well, so you do get some movement right there. Then lastly, you do get a diaphragm joint that rotates side to side. It kind of pivots side to side, and it moves forward and back only a tiny little bit. So to measure these figures out, you can see Jack is standing just at 9 inches tall. Sally, she's standing just a little over 7 inches, close to 7.5. Then Mr. Oogie Boogie is standing closer to about 8 inches tall. I'm going to close this review out. I'm not doing any more size comparisons. I'm actually quite done with this Jack figure. Unfortunately, I did break him twice, and I'm very frustrated right now. This whole pin piece right here came off on the hip, and I spent a lot of time trying to super glue that together because this is not my figure, it's for the wife. And then I tried to pull a pin out on this one, seeing maybe if I could switch it out, but then I ended up breaking the pin on this side too. So that right there frustrates the hell out of me. So yeah, I can't say I highly recommend the Jack figure. You got to be really careful with it. I thought it was going to be very durable. Maybe me doing the review just made it just so that I was being a lot more rough with the figure than I really intended to be. So it's quite unfortunate. But the Sally figure and the Mr. Oogie Boogie came out great. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. If you did, please hit the like button. Hit any of these boxes right over here if you want more Shart in your face. If you're of the age of 18 years or older, please check out the Patreon account. Your guys' help is very much appreciated and needed. And if you're any age, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And go to toynewseye.com for the latest in action figure news. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Imposing action figures, imposing action figures, imposing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures.
That's crispy.
Oh yeah, and Merry Christmas. Take that, 2015 world.